To begin, we find ourselves starting back in Europe, in the late 1700s. By this time, man had mastered the art of alchemy, with the practice of equivalent exchange serving as a spiritual guide for the people. And with the great Alchemists' Guild, wealthy and holding influence over both the governments and nobles alike, it appeared as if their great practice would shepherd man into the future. It was during this time that one unnamed alchemist had made a small but insignificant discovery: the formation of a strange construct on one of his homunculi, a crystal of unknown properties. And little did he know, this small crystal would serve as the basis for absolute calamity. 20th of April, 1764. Whilst attempting to create my homunculus, I discovered a strange formation of white crystal growing on the subject. What is it? A sign at long last that my studies are progressing? I must observe it diligently and learn all I can. The crystal I discovered appears to be multiplying. Slowly, its corruption is spreading through the cadaver I chose as a subject. It's a marvelous substance, neither entirely a liquid nor solid. As soon as I have enough, I shall begin experiments to discover its other properties. Though over time, just as people had once turned away from their previous schools of thought towards alchemy, a new way of thinking was beginning to sweep over the land. The Industrial Revolution had begun, and it seemed poised to transform the land and create a new world, a world that held no room for the now worthless spirituality of alchemy. 14th of June, 1764. The guild has been abandoned by yet another patron, and all the while my superiors have tried to simply scare the aristocracy by insinuating their mockery of the intangible will bring demons to their gates. I do not have high hopes these tactics will suffice to avert the guild's demise. As the Alchemists' Guild found itself threatened to be washed away by the tides of change, now bled dry of both wealth and influence, in their desperation they devised a plan, an abhorrent scheme that was deemed utterly necessary to defend their existence. If the world would move on from the guild would remind them, and their plans began with an ancient tome known as the Liber Logaeth. 17th of August, 1764. My superiors act with alacrity now. They sent a missive demanding I focus my studies on the conjuring of demons. So they see my crystal as a waste of time, and this new task is not? The Liber Logaeth has been with the guild for centuries. If they think I could squeeze a demon out of it now, their faith is sorely misplaced. In order for the people of Europe to return their so-called misplaced beliefs back to the guild, they would invade the world with an army of demons summoned by tarnishing the rites within the Liber Logaeth. And yet, as the march of progress continued outside the grounds of the Alchemists' Guild, inside them, it was not quite as forthcoming. As the alchemists of the guild tried and failed to summon a demon, it was clear they were lacking the proper catalyst. However, one day, a breakthrough would arrive, in the form of a discovery that this lone alchemist had made over a year ago. A crystal formed of an anomaly had turned out to be the key to clawing demons from hell and summoning them in our world. 11th August, 1765. I've done it! While small, the creature I summoned was most assuredly a demon. I thought it was clutching at straws when I tried using the crystal as a medium. But what power! Distressingly, my small demon nearly devastated the guild before I could destroy it. Curiously, one discovery would lead to the next, as the slain demons produced magical shards, a strange fragment of demonic power that was inexorably linked to the crystal, but yet could not be utilized. But the secrets of the shards were set aside as countless experiments were performed trying to increase the size of the crystal in order to fuel the summonings of more and more terrible demons. Until it was one day discovered that the crystal spread quicker through children, and upon relaying news of this discovery, the alchemist had found himself with a surplus. 8th of February, 1767. The guild has supplied me with the children I need, I care not how, and bade me transplant the crystal. My old friend vehemently opposes the move on moral grounds, but I wish only to complete this experiment, replenish the guild's coffers, and continue my historic work. Now, let the experiment begin. 8th of February, 1767. My theories were correct. The crystal is spreading through the children's bodies faster than even I expected. However, my superiors had delivered the grave news that no more children can be provided. This is indeed a setback. With my current materials, it would take more than 10 years to amass the amount we require. In their plan to summon demons, the alchemists had crossed a terrible line, condemning these children to the crystal curse, with the crystal implanted in them destined to spread like a disease and consume their bodies, which would then be sacrificed as a catalyst to summon the demons. Though some members of the guild would object, one would even spend time with the children, much to the chagrin of the rest of the guild. However, with this terrible discovery, the guild could now gather as much crystal as they wanted. But the curious substance left much to be discovered, as their link to the mysterious shards had finally been revealed. 2nd of September, 1776. A terrible thing has happened. One of the children got a hold of the red shard, bringing the demon I summoned all those years ago back into our world. We somehow cut loose the shard from the boy and averted chaos, but this proves I was right. The crystal binds with the shard's power. I shall call these children Shardbinders. After the true power of the Shardbinders had been revealed, the guild immediately undertook the task of training them in combat, by forcing them to fight the demons that they would summon. These combat trials revealed the presence of two powerful Shardbinders among the children. One was Jeeble, who had shown tremendous ability, and his combat prowess provided the guild with many shards and materials to continue their work. And another girl, Miriam, was noted to have boundless potential, and could wield almost unlimited shards with a power as of yet unforeseen through the Shardbinders. All the while, their crystals continued to grow, providing more and more catalyst, as it was discovered that with each shard absorbed, the crystal would spread at a faster rate. It was during those experiments, and with the fear of their power, and of whom they would become, it was in that time when Jeeble and Miriam made a promise to one another. If they were to lose themselves and become a slave to their curse, they would seek out the other and kill them. A promise both intended to keep in the dark days ahead. In 1783, when the Lackey eruption stained the sky black, the guild, now having amassed enough crystal, saw the time was right to unleash a horde of demons upon the world as their final act of both punishment of the masses and the security of their art, planning to use the Shardbinders as catalysts to perform the rite. But not all had gone according to plan. It is unknown if Miriam's inexplicable stupor, which caused her crystal to lose its power, was orchestrated by the alchemist who had grown to care for the children, or by some divine intervention. What is now known is that the guild, lacking in their supply, proceeded to carry out a stunted version of the rite, sacrificing Jeeble and all the other Shardbinders, and throwing open the gates of hell, allowing demons to pour into the world. 15th July, 1783. Westbale did not come. The summoning was a triumphant success. Demons have now flooded into our world, proving the validity of the guild's beliefs and the necessity of our presence. However, I never imagined it would lead to such catastrophe. Was I foolish to heed my superiors so blindly? But what's done is done. The alchemists had secured their future, but at an immense cost. It had taken 2 months to repel the invasion, during which the demonic hordes had wreaked untold havoc over England. When eventually the hand of the Alchemist Guild was discovered to have orchestrated the months of bloodshed, the superiors of the guild were executed by the church. Once again the guild was left in ruin, earning the ire of the rest of the world, but none would come to despise their former masters as much as the Shardbinder Jeeble, thought to have died, now returned to the alchemist with his own horde of demons. He had returned to exact his vengeance on the alchemists who had wronged him. Jeeble did not die in the ritual. He is here, flanked by demons. He delivers his judgment to the alchemists. My own punishment has come, and it will be far worse than the others. To the Shardbinders who died in my hands, forgive me. And to you, my dear friend Alfred, I should have listened. May God have mercy on me. From there, Jebel got his hands on the Liber Logaeth and summoned the Hellhole, a large castle from the depths of hell itself, in his demonic aid Grimory. With his body succumbing to the crystal curse, he began a scheme to use the Hellhole to conjure another army of demons to invade Europe once again, as revenge to the world that had so utterly cursed him, seeking to utterly raze it to the ground. Unbeknownst to Jebel, and nearly 10 years since the ritual that had once ravaged the land, another shardbinder awakened on a galleon. It was Miriam, and to her surprise she had not been claimed by the crystal. The alchemist with her, Johannes, had been able to use a special alchemical sigil known as an Enochian glyph to forestall her crystal curse. But it was not the time for celebration, as Miriam had been seemingly awoken for a reason. They sailed towards the Hellhold itself, as Johannes explained to her what had happened during her long sleep. She was devastated to hear of her friend Jebel's actions, but she knew what she had to do. And as a ship cut through the waters on a voyage towards the inevitable, Miriam prepared to keep a promise.
Bloodstained.